A Malaysian airline flight left Kuala Lumpur on March 8, 2014, but it did not make it to Beijing. Despite the fact that no one has any idea of the plane's whereabouts to this day, after 8 years, there is finally some hope. Welcome back to Facts Hub videos.
Dear friends, on March 8, 2014, or almost 8 years ago, a Malaysian airline flight MH370 had to leave Kuala Lumpur, the country's capital, and go to Beijing, the capital of China. On this flight, there were 2 pilots, a total of 227 passengers, the most of whom were Chinese, were traveling with 10 cabin personnel. The 53-year-old Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah had 33 years of flying experience, making the 2 pilots exceptionally experienced. Farooq Abdul Hamid, a junior pilot with 7 years of experience, was only 27 years old. If we talk about this plane, it was Boeing 777 that was 11 years old and had never experienced any kind of issue or mishap involving its mechanical or electrical systems. The key point of the story is that the flight between Malaysia and China was perfectly routine, which used to go every day, taking a 5-hour 34-minute flight from Malaysia to China or the other way around. But that day was out of the ordinary for this flight.
It was more than simply abnormal. In reality, the planned flight time for MH370 was only 5 hours 34 minutes. However, more gasoline was added before takeoff, and it had to fly for 7 hours and 41 minutes. That is 2 hours longer than what we require. That is 2 hours longer than what was required. Airlines typically do this so that the plane has extra fuel in case of inclement weather or an emergency. It was March 8, 2014, and as usual, flight MH370 departed from Kuala Lumpur at 12:42 am. Before and after takeoff, the first pilot Zahari had direct communication with the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower. As soon as the plane took off, it turned its course towards the South China Sea, and exactly 20 minutes later at 1:09 in the morning, the aircraft's transponder transmitted its GPS location to the radar of the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Tower. The transponder automatically sends its current location to adjacent radars every so often as part of its automated function.
So far, everything had been going as expected. The control was transferred to Kuala Lumpur at 1:19 am, precisely 10 minutes after flight MH370 started to leave Malaysian territory and enter Vietnamese airspace. Tower had one last contact with first pilot Zahari and said these words. This means that Flight 370 should now make contact with Control Tower in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Captain Zahari, the first pilot, also responded to the message after hearing it, "Good night MH370. Captain Zahari did not know that this goodnight message would be the last one from MH370, and neither did the control tower. It is normal for a plane to communicate with the air traffic control tower of any major airport on its route to its destination, and something similar was intended to happen here, but everything that had gone perfectly so far was starting to go wrong.
Yes, at precisely 1:21 am or 3 minutes after he sent his last message, flight MH370 abruptly vanished from the radar. That is, the plane had vanished from both of the radars of Kuala Lumpur and Ho Chi Minh City. Now, this was the entirely normal behavior for Kuala Lumpur Tower because they knew that MH370 had just entered Vietnamese airspace. That's why it vanished off their radar. When the Ho Chi Minh Control Tower saw Flight 370 vanish from their radar, they knew something was wrong. They quickly contacted the captain to check on him. The Ho Chi Minh Tower tried to contact MH370 over the following 18 minutes. The captain, though, had not yet responded. The Ho Chi Minh Tower subsequently contacted the Kuala Lumpur Tower and explained the situation. In this case, the rescue center should be notified within 1 hour.
But after complete 4 hours, the Kuala Lumpur Control Tower notified the Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Center. By that point, it was too late. The time when MH370 was scheduled to land in Beijing was 6:15 in the morning. There was some hope that the plane would arrive in Beijing on time, but there was no good news from there either. A search operation was launched in the exact location where the plane vanished at 6:32 in the morning. 34 ships and 28 aircraft from 7 countries headed there to look for flight MH370 along the Gulf of Thailand and South China Sea boundary. Unfortunately, they were unable to locate the name and mark of the plane near the South Sea border, where they had first begun their search. At that point, this occurrence was widely known throughout the world. Only this news was being broadcast on television, news, website, and social media. During this time, other research teams from different countries joined the search operation.
And if such a large plane had sunk in the sea there, something ought to have been seen floating. No positive news could be uncovered for the subsequent 4 days of this search operation, but on the 4th day, something happened that shocked the entire rescue operation. When MH370 vanished from the radar, it vanished from civilian radar as well. However, it remained visible on a Malaysian military radar for the following hour. And after disappearing from civilian radar, the plane began to fly right for a few minutes before doing a U-turn. After 31 minutes, the aircraft flew over Penang, Malaysia, before heading off in the direction of the Strait of Malacca.
There is a lot more to this. You will be astonished to learn that a lot of things happened after that. In the following video, you will watch the second half of it. If you guys know anything more about it, please let us know by commenting.
That's it for today.
Bye for now.